Afternoon, and thank you so much for your time. We are looking forward to walking you through our digital retailing solution for Painter Motors and FCA. Before we jump into it, let me start by introducing you to our dynamic team. I'm Ingrid, and my background is in marketing and sales. Tyrone has been in the automotive industry for the last 12 years and has brought firsthand knowledge to our group. Chris was a former engineer and tech guru, and Sean, our team lead and former tech consultant. With our diverse backgrounds and experiences, we are confident that we can help Painter Motors implement our recommendations over the course of 3 months. A quick look at our agenda. I'll be starting with a brief overview of our recommendations, our research, and the client journey. Then I'll hand it off to Tyrone, who will take you through our strategic recommendations. And finally, Chris will tie it all together with our execution plan and next steps. Let's start by understanding where we are at today and what the opportunity looks like. Many dealership cultures today are not configured to win in a digital environment. And with COVID, the client's digital buying habits have been accelerated, meaning their future expectations have also been shifted. So there's an opportunity to shift from the what was into the what is. The opportunity to create an experience that gets dealerships into the 21st century. And to be honest, Painter Motors isn't far off. You have invested in great technology and a CRM, and with our 2 recommendations, we will be able to get you across the finish line. These recommendations being creating a streamlined mobile experience and implementing a team-first sales compensation model. Ultimately, this will lead to both dealer and client impact. Oh, and a 24% increase in dealership revenue. This analysis is supported by both our secondary research, but more importantly, by our primary research. We spoke to 10 SYST dealers in order to understand Painter Motors segment. And the 3 themes that constantly stuck out were, it is important to get to leads quicker, to make the sales process more seamless, and to capitalize on the home delivery model. So what does car buying look like in the 21st century? Throughout the client journey, there are many critical touch points from when a client starts their research on their mobile phone, to talking with a sales associate, to scheduling their test drive, to the actual purchase itself. And of course, the goal of the dealership is to have all the journey be in that green positive zone. But that is easier said than done, especially when talking to that digital savvy client. In order to understand the pain points that potential clients go through during the buying process, we spoke with 40 individuals who recently purchased a car. Again, 3 main themes stuck out. Mobile experience is key. They don't like pushy salespeople. And people are busy. They need more options beyond going into a dealership. You can see these 3 pain points highlighted on the client journey map by Robin, Jeff, and Martha. Let's dive into each of their stories a little bit more. Let's start with Robin. Robin wanted to start looking for a car while laying in bed one evening, opened up the browser in her phone, and gave up because the mobile experience was so horrible. I would say this is a lost opportunity for the dealership. And in fact, Robin is not alone. 71% of potential clients have over 900 digital touch points in a 3-month period, meaning the mobile experience needs to be clean and easy to navigate. Jeff is a tech-savvy millennial who expects all companies to have customer service like Amazon, quick and human. Unfortunately, after being redirected to many sales reps and then not receiving a response to his original inquiry for over 24 hours, he decided to move on to a different dealership. Again, another lost opportunity. More alarmingly, 23% of leads are not followed up on within 24 hours. This is potential lost revenue on the table. And finally, Martha. Martha is a mom of 3, so you can imagine how busy life gets. She is trying to purchase a new Jeep, but the closest dealer is located 16 miles away, making it hard for her to find time to get there, and she doesn't feel safe with COVID. She decided to not go with the first dealership she talked with because she couldn't understand their home delivery options. And you guessed it, another lost opportunity for the dealership. People do not buy goods and services. They buy relations, stories, and magic. And now Tyrone is going to show you how to bring this magic and a more human approach into the car buying experience.
Thank you, Ingrid, and thank you all for joining us today. Let's jump right into it. Let's focus on the 2 recommendations that Ingrid mentioned earlier. The first being to create a streamlined mobile experience that will increase contact rate by 15%, and the second to implement a team-first sales compensation plan that will increase purchase rate by 5%. for a total revenue lift of 42%. Let's get right into it. Mobile. How many of you in the last week purchased something using your mobile phone? How many of you purchased 3 or more things that way? Mobile isn't just the future, it is the now. With 60% of automotive searches coming from mobile devices, clients today are less tolerant of websites that do not prioritize the mobile experience. For communication, clients like to use everything that they can, so text, phone, and email, with text messaging gaining more and more traction. The number of buyers who communicate via text message with dealership personnel has increased 4 percentage points over the last 2 years, and overall satisfaction among those buyers averages 11 points higher than among those who do not text with the dealership. Dealers are adapting. In my 12 years of automotive dealership experience, I would say 90% of the communicating I did on my personal phone was texting with clients. So salespeople are texting clients, they are emailing, and they are calling, but they're not interweaving all three effectively, and most importantly, monitoring it through their CRM and management systems. As we said, you are almost there. We don't need to reinvent the wheel here. We just need to change out that old steel rim for some lightweight and efficient carbon fiber, or maybe some chrome. Let's get into our phases. Introducing a new personalized mobile experience that is cleaner, more streamlined, and more client-centric than what exists in the industry today. We will optimize for mobile by re-architecting and implementing elements that allow users to text, email, place a call to the sales team, schedule an appointment, or get directions, all with one tap. The home screen will include a standard navigation bar that gives you contact options. The About section starts to build a relationship and rapport with the dealership and staff. But most importantly, it will feature the first call to action, Begin Adventure Now button, which will give you multi-channel communication options, allowing the client to choose what suits them best. Here, clients will also experience the digital needs assessment tool that will ask questions like, what features have you been dreaming about for your new car? How many miles have you put on your current car? Or more importantly, what budget is ideal for you? These are the questions a good salesperson typically asks a client. This digital version will help us match them with the perfect car, which ideally will be the lowest price option that includes everything that they need. We will also provide them with a slightly more expensive and a slightly less expensive option that they can review and make that decision for themselves. We will also integrate a digital scheduler and live vehicle tracking for home delivery and for test drives. Most people won't buy a car without test driving it first. And with this, we can make it happen on their time by delivering the car to their front door or office to test drive on their break. We want clients to know that we are here to make this process as easy and stress-free as possible. An incredibly important feature for both the client and the dealership is the payment calculator, followed by video conferencing for signing of paperwork. The payment calculator will be fully transparent with price, promotion, and financing options. Now, we are fully aware that financing is a profit center for the dealership, and dealer rate participation or markup is an essential part of the business. So through analysis, we will determine the optimal standard markup rate for lease and financing and apply that to the mobile payment calculator. This will be followed up with a secured video conference for the feature demonstration for new owners and the signing of paperwork, where the finance manager will be able to push menus and contracts to the client's mobile device or full computer if they like, so that they can talk through each option and obtain signatures as if they were at the dealership. This appointment will be set by our digital scheduler, allowing the dealership to consult with clients on additional products that they may need to fully protect and enjoy their vehicles for years to come. This process will provide a personal and expertly guided touch to the digital buying process. Painter Motors need not worry about profit losses from reduced sales of warranties, insurances, and aftermarket accessories that provide valuable benefits to its clients. Over my career, I had 4 separate clients spend cumulatively over $1 million with me on vehicle purchases. I was able to do this not by always offering the lowest price, it was by figuring out how to emotionally connect with my clients, figuring out what made them smile and understanding what was important to them beyond the numbers. We now need to digitally tug at those heartstrings, make them see themselves in the car, make them envision the car sitting in their garage or driveway, making all the neighbors jealous. And with augmented reality, we can do just that. It will start with a View in My Driveway feature, where clients can use augmented reality to take pics of their dream ride sitting right there in the driveway or garage, and then upload it directly to Instagram to share with all their friends. Again, we want to create emotional connection. This feature, along with customized push notifications, will be part of our phase 2 rollout. So the result of this recommendation will increase the number of clients that give you their contact information by 15%. If everyone is moving forward together, then success takes care of itself. That was Henry Ford. The internet lead is statistically the most valuable lead that a dealership sees in a day. However, lead response times are often hinged on an individual associate's ability to juggle multiple clients at the same time, the inherent individual nature of commission sales, and a general lack of cross-functional knowledge by many sales associates. Time kills deals, and these things slow down the shopping and buying process for the client, and each provides an opportunity to lose that client to another more responsive dealer or brand. There's really only one clear path through this traffic jam: teamwork, which doesn't typically go in hand with commission sales. We are going to implement a team-first sales compensation model because, simply put, it's the only way we are going to get these leads answered any faster. Right now, most dealerships are targeting a 10-minute response time for internet leads, and they don't even track response times for follow-up requests from clients. We are setting a new industry-leading aggressive response time target of 60 seconds for new leads and 5 minutes for follow-up requests. The impact is we're going to increase lead to sales percentage by 5%. And here is how we're going to do it. We are going to focus on the customer and not the sale. Guys, culture eats strategy for breakfast. So no matter how many brilliant innovations you hear today, and no matter how dynamic they will all face a significant, unavoidable barrier: culture as it pertains to commission sales. I know because, again, I did live in this world for over 12 years. The reason I left a successful career in a dealership is because I was done with a culture that paid me better for a quick sale than it did for taking excellent care of my clients. This recommendation is going to change how the sales team is paid so that their compensation is significantly tied to how effectively and how fast they respond to clients. This sets the stage for a happier, more satisfied, and more loyal client. Currently, sales associates are focused on individual commissions. There's no benefit to speedy response, and expanding their knowledge isn't really incentivized. So we are going to align their pay to our goals, force team collaboration, and implement team bonuses. On a daily basis, response time suffers because dealerships lose clients because associates are either out for lunch or lack the knowledge to answer a question right away. Why is this the case? Well, it's because compensation and expectations aren't aligned, nor are they typically complementary to teamwork. What Painter Motors should do is tie their sales associates' base minimum commission to the department's response times for a month. For example, if their base minimum commission is $150 and the department achieves our very aggressive initial response time target of 60 seconds, each associate's base commission per car would then go from $150 to $175. Subsequently, our second target is less than 5 minutes for follow-up response time. That's when a client makes contact for additional information. If the team achieves that goal, again, everyone's base minimum commission then goes from $175 to $200 per unit for that month. So now you have a sales force that is incentivized to help any client at any time. So with the fastest, most aggressive response times and the most knowledgeable associates of all their competitors, Painter Motors will increase their revenue by that 42%, earning exponentially more than they spend on the new pay plan. Time kills deals. This saves time. This recommendation will not only build a new sales culture, but will convert an additional 5% of site visitors into clients, meaning an additional 25 purchases a month, and that's just to start. Together, these two recommendations will increase revenue by 42%. Now, I know we keep saying it, but I want to hammer that number home because that is a real number. So Chris is now going to tie it all together with the implementation tactics and the rollout strategy. Chris?
Great, thank you so much, Tyrone. So Ingrid answered the question of where are we going? Tyrone spoke to the question of what do we need to do to get there? And now I'm going to take us through the how. How do we get there? So we want to start with people. We know how important culture is to the success of a dealership, and we want your dealers to be as digitally savvy as their clients. Given that, we recommend taking a two-phased approach. In phase one, we recommend investing immediately in your people through a digital retail foundations course that will be mandatory for all new employees. The purpose of the training is to ensure that your dealership team understands the importance of digital retailing and what the future of car buying will look like. Other automakers in the industry like Volvo have already started to roll out this type of training, and we expect to see this trend continue into the future. Ultimately, we believe this training will make your employees feel more valued and improve overall staff retention. For phase 2, we propose a cross-functional in-dealer training similar to Chrysler Academy that's tied to a monthly bonus. The goal is to reduce the frequency of having to ask other departments for answers, thus reducing the response time to the client and ultimately increasing the throughput of leads through the sales funnel. And so from a technology perspective, let me start by saying this. We believe they're using all the right tools to generate and capture leads. Your website tool, dealer.com, and CRM, VIN Solutions, are both feature-rich and some of the best in the industry. Where we see an opportunity is through modernizing your dealer management system, or DMS, to convert more leads into purchases. We discovered that the lack of a cohesive DMS, or rather a one-stop shop solution, was actively hindering the effectiveness of dealerships and their digital transformation. And so in order to address this, we recommend Painter Motors use Tekion, a DMS that is leading the industry in zero-contact digital sales and service. We believe that modernizing your DMS and ensuring that it has the right capabilities will drive efficiencies in your organization and ultimately lead to more sales. So we then looked into home delivery, and we found the challenge isn't what to provide, it's how to provide it. So let's start with the what. We propose 2 delivery options. The first is a contactless in-store pickup, and the second is a completely contactless home delivery. Clients want to have flexibility to choose the option that best meets their needs, and we believe that having a 2-tiered plan can meet those needs while still being feasible for the dealership. Now that I've talked about the what, I want to dive into the how. Setting up, scheduling, managing test drives, and delivery it's logistically challenging. That's why we recommend Tekion as your DMS tool, because it makes setting up those processes easy for both the dealer and the client. So to give an example, we built out a delivery forecast and anticipate that you'll receive significant surges in demand for delivery. We thought about how to best address those capacity issues, and we recommend partnering with a rideshare service such as Uber and Lyft, because they have the capabilities to meet and address those surges. Ultimately, we want to work with you to build out this process further and make sure that you have the foundation in place to enable contactless delivery at scale. So now let's discuss our strategy for rolling out these recommendations. We know we can significantly improve the digital retail experience for your clients and dealers within 3 months. We plan to start by building your website, training your team, and really bringing in that modernized DMS. From there, we'll continue to refine and expand on all 3 of those ideas over the subsequent months. We've also thought about what's next, what comes after 3 months, 6 months, a year even. Our plan is to continue expanding the mobile site, pulling in augmented reality features, implementing customized push notifications for clients, and continuing to explore that Uber and Lyft partnership, since we know you'll be experiencing more sales and more delivery requests. So here are the numbers. $12,000 investment to generate $20,000 in revenue, and will pay for itself in less than 1 month. So here's the bottom line. We're ready to go. We're excited to work with you. Ingrid has the marketing experience. Tyrone has the dealership experience. Sean has the tech experience, and I have the engineering experience. And you know what? We're the right team to get this done. So I'll end here. Thank you so much for your time, and we're happy to answer any questions that you have.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and ask the judges to unmute themselves, show their cameras, and I'm going to go ahead and start the 10-minute timer right now.
I have a question. You mentioned that an internet lead is the most valuable type of lead. I've always was told that having the customer in the store was the most valuable type of a lead. So who says the internet lead is the most valuable, and why?
I'd be more than happy to answer that question. So as the world transitions to more online retailing, the internet lead does become the in-person lead, does become the person who would typically have been in the store. So now we're initially interfacing with these folks online originally. And additionally, it doesn't take as much to get an online lead versus what it takes to get someone in the door. So the investment in that lead is less, as well as the propensity of folks to initiate conversation with the dealership online.
Well, I think that's a compelling reason for why the cost of the lead is less, but I'm not sure if that's a compelling reason why the value of the lead is greater. But let me ask a different question. Regarding tying commissions to response times, what's a salesperson's role in helping the dealership get down to a 60-second response time? Isn't that really pretty much the function of whatever your online CRMs are doing? Or how does the sales rep help drive that performance?
Absolutely. That's actually a really good question. So what happens typically is once you get a lead in, it generally filters into the DMS or the CRM system. And at that time, the onus is on your internet management team. So if that's a salesperson or a business development center, to stop the clock on that lead, to answer that lead. And we found that in certain cases, that clock is going for over 24 hours. So there's two things here. If the sales team helps with that, they'll get paid more. And I don't think I've ever met a salesperson who didn't want to get paid more. And if they develop this reputation for quicker response times, they'll get more clients through essentially through their reputation and through their effectiveness to come into the dealership or to engage with the dealership digitally. So more pay, more customers, more pay, more customers, and it'll snowball for the dealership and for its associates.
Okay, thank you.
So I really like the idea of changing the thought process within the dealership and your approach to making the employees within the dealership work together more as a team and compensating them in the manner of a team. The only thing that I need a little help with is understanding speed of response as, at least the way I'm understanding, is the only factor. Or are there other factors in that commission piece of it? Because you don't want a sales force that responds very quickly but ineffectively.
Absolutely. We pitched this recommendation to a dealer in a similar size as the case, and that was their biggest concern. Quick response isn't always effective response. And that's definitely why we implemented the training aspect of this. Cross-functional training that's going to happen at a quarterly basis within the dealership. And then also we're going to send them to the Digital Retail Foundations course. So, and keeping in mind that there still is an individual component to the paycheck. So the team bonus will affect everyone's pay, but there will still be a premium on an individual effort. So if I sell 15 cars and the person next to me only sells 10, we're going to get the bonus per car, but I'm still going to get more because I did more work or was able to answer more leads or took less days off or whatever the case may be. But training is a huge part of it. And it's going to take some time to get everyone up to speed, but it is an essential part of this whole structure.
And just a quick one, how did you arrive at, I mean, it's interesting for me in HR, but how did you arrive at the fact that obviously the people and the culture are most critical in this entire process? Can you walk me through that? And any comparative analysis that you performed with any of our competitors to see if they're utilizing that same approach?
This is a great two-part question. I want to answer the first part of that, and then I think Chris might have some insights. That was part of his research. But coming into the team aspect of things, that was from a lot of personal experience and interviewing dealerships. So we did interview quite a few dealers to ask them what do they think the barriers would be to changing this type of structure that exists currently. And they said, ultimately, we've got a lot of people who've made a lot of money over the years, and they'll be very reluctant to change. So how do we get them to get on board? So we said, well, if we can keep their pay the same, but give them kind of a carrot. So if you are able to get on board with this new culture, we'll pay you even more to do the same job and you'll make more money. So the culture is really the most difficult part of any sales structure. People are used to making money a very certain specific kind of way, but we all know salespeople are pretty inventive and they'll find ways to work the pay plan as best as possible.
And I can jump in on the second part of the question, which I believe was, where have we seen this work? What outside research did we do? And so where we actually looked was the banking industry. And we kind of read through and we found a very interesting case study for a small European bank. Essentially, they had switched their compensation model more towards a team first approach, and they saw significant increases in their sales, overall employee satisfaction. There are just several benefits that they saw from this. And so, we felt like, that example plus Tyrone's experience actually working in a dealership and kind of working in that environment, we felt that it was a kind of a good mix to kind of bring that in to the automotive industry.
Thank you.
This is Ken Watson. Really liked the presentation and especially the phasing. But one of the things I'm trying to understand was especially the risks that you foresee with this approach. What are the top risks?
Yeah, thank you so much for that question. And by risks, you mean of our rollout strategy, having it over the course of so many months and then having a phase 2?
Yes.
Cool, absolutely. So what I would say for that side of things is we are really going to create a backlog of the phase 2. So of course, it can get overwhelming when you try to put too many features out there, and where do you prioritize your time? So instead of talking just about like what features we're going to prioritize, we're really talking about a mindset that we're doing. So we're going to create that backlog of phase 2 features and curate them based on the sizing, the level of effort, and looking at which ones will benefit the most people. So of course the risk is you could pick the wrong feature to highlight before another one, but by really making sure that we do our due diligence on our end, we can make sure that we capture that right feature first. And then this will allow us to create a product roadmap that goes beyond the phase 1 and the rollout features, which will then most impact the end client. So really focusing in on what is the strategy, what is the product roadmap that we can create to try to mitigate any of the risks that could come up, being we pick the wrong feature to roll out or it doesn't get a good response from the clients using it.
Great, thank you.
So you all mentioned something that really was insightful to me, where you had your begin adventure now button, and based on the input from the consumer, the perfect vehicle for them would show up at a price point that would be the lowest. So from a FCA perspective, we think that's ideal, but it's different than the dealer's mindset. From your research and talking to the dealerships, do you have the feeling that the dealers are ready to make that kind of a switch?
I would love to answer this question. It's actually kind of a pet peeve. So I think what dealerships have experienced, I know a dealer that I worked for previously tried a no haggle policy, and CarMax has done this to great success. And we implemented this no haggle policy, and everyone immediately saw increased revenue. Eventually the market, the other dealerships in the market kind of fought it, and it kind of fell apart. But when we were sticking to this no haggle policy, revenues went up. So it didn't matter if it were a cheaper version of the car or a more expensive version of the car. Because we eliminated the back and forth haggling, we were able to hold on to more revenue. And additionally, it saved the clients a lot of time. So, there's a time value of money question there. So how much time do you want to spend haggling over $500? We can just get straight to the point and have you enjoying your car and on the road.
Thank you.
This is Cassandra Bozeman. Does the cost of implementation include the additional income or the additional liability of increased salary to the salespeople?
Yep. Hey, Cassandra, this is Chris. I can hop in here real quick because I know we're a little short on time. We did include a more detailed breakdown of our financial model, but to answer your question very specifically, yes, it does. The way that we looked at it was in our predicted scenario, we included that additional commission based off of our recommendation around the team first sales model.
Okay, that'll do it. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I had a great time on this, so we really appreciate the opportunity.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Good job, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.